DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I can't believe you put this up. Steve Kerr thinks the pace of play in the NBA is causing injuries and recommends reducing the season to 72 games. Would it help? Okay, first off, on a serious note, Steve Kerr is coached championship teams and played on championship teams, so when he says stuff, it makes news.
Yeah,
Locke was telling us. Yeah, Locke was telling us. Yeah, right. Tim Duncan, Michael Jordan. Pick your teams carefully.
He's Ringo Starr.
Don't go to Cleveland, Steve. Look how that turned out. He played in Cleveland, I think, early in his career. So David Locke told us this last year. I think this is clearly something that's been talked about by a lot of NBA people for a long time. And it makes some sense. There's some logic to it. That the pace of play is causing a lot of these injuries. There's a ton of star players out. It's just like a daily update. Would it help if you put this up on Facebook? And people are just going to town, man. You just teed them up. Eldon, well, that'd mean less suffering for Jazz fans. Nice. Marvin, reduce it to 2 games. That'd be good. 2 NBA games.
2 NBA games?
You play one team home, you play one team away. That's it. Thanks for the season. See you next year.
Boy, that would be a lot of emphasis on those 2 games.
Mark rolls eyes. It's been 82 games for a while now. I'm pretty checked out of the Princess League.
Well, yeah, I don't think that the amount of games is the issue. I mean, he's bringing it up. But that's never going to happen because then you're asking.
Everybody takes less money. Yeah. There's less games for TV. There's less games for luxury suites and everything. It all hinges on that. And yeah, they're making a ton, but they're not giving it up.
No, you never want to give back anything that you've received from terms of finances. So with that in mind, what can they do? Can they spread it out more? I mean, why not start earlier? Just say nobody pays attention until Christmas, so what's the difference?
Float a few games in there. It's just a few games. What's the big deal?
Do you need
eliminate some back-to-backs? Is it the back-to-back and the spread out and the rest, or is it the total cumulative number of trips up and down the court?
Yeah, but it has to – he's talking about playing every other day right now, so it is the amount of games in a condensed period.
So if it were 3 games in 7 days and every once in a while they got 2 off, would the body repair a little better?
That's part of his idea as far as where he's going. And he's won titles, so that gives him the right to pop off because he's not going to get fired.
Yeah.
And they decided to go old, and they're the latest team. It happens all the time. That's going to have to ride out a superstar until that guy retires. And
that's all true, but we're seeing this happen to younger players. Wembayama with the calf, and we've heard calf injuries before that turned into Achilles injuries.
I don't think his pace of play is that big of a deal.
Well, I think I get your point on that. He's not flying around the way a perimeter defender is, but big guys move a lot more than they used to. And the point, because we've seen a lot of big guys injured, and Locke talked to us about this once, is like there's a size where you're simply too big for all this cutting and changing direction, and your body's going to break down.
Yeah, but that's...
Now, he's not as heavy, so that's a factor also.
He also isn't as muscular, so he's had injuries now every season.
And here he is again.
Yeah.
On the bench for at least a week, probably 2.
Right. How come it's never 3 to 5? It's always 4 to 6.
4 to 6 is a big number.
Yeah.
Something about bone injuries. I think a lot of the hairline fractures. And
but it can't be 3 to 5 because if it's 4, that means it could be 5. But you never hear 3 to 5.
Yeah. 3 weeks.
Or 4 to 5. It's always 4 to 6.
We'll ask around.
Doesn't make any sense. I think there's ways that you can modify it.
I liked what you said about the fewer minutes in the game because that's fewer trips up and down the court, and it's not just that. It's inside the half court when you're trying to rotate to shooters and you're turning and planting and exploding towards the shooter in different directions.
Defense in the regular season?
Well, theoretically,
good luck on that.
Well, if you're the 7th best guy.
And who cares if he's out?
We are talking mostly about the stars.
You didn't get the billions-dollar contract on the 7th guy.
No. Nope. And there's plenty of star power out right now. And it's cutting on the offensive end, too.
Maybe 25 guys in the league that drive the television. And you want them available as much as possible. Anybody who comes to see the Warriors in town is coming to see Steph Curry.
Right.
That's it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just a nice added bonus.
And as good as Jimmy Butler is, he's not Steph Curry.
No. Everyone else is a nice bonus.
And what kind of
nice
shenanigans are you going to get tonight if Green is in the mood to give you shenanigans and play the victim again?
Grab somebody in a headlock.
He's been playing the victim for years. I feel bad for the guy. How does he get out of bed? Everybody's against him. So that would be one thing I would tell these guys. Don't play the victim. The Joe working stiff doesn't want to hear it.
I get that the playoffs, there's way more energy spent in the in the playoffs than in the regular season. But the guy who's staying healthy through all of this, now, of course, as soon as I say this, but the Joker. And he's not a guy, I mean, he runs, he jogs down to the top of the court. He plays at a slower pace. And he also controls the game at that pace, which is a beautiful thing.
It works.
Right. And so he doesn't seem to be having these injuries. So to me, that strengthens this whole pace of play thing that First Lock and now Steve Kerr are telling us about. And I suspect there's dozens and dozens of people behind the scenes talking about it too. And I would expect to do something because what you just said is the most lucrative thing. And it's a business, and it's about the money. And it's 25 guys, and that even might be a generous number,
right,
who drive the TV ratings. But under the theory that, okay, we got a handful of teams that really suck, and everybody else has a guy that people want to watch. I mean, Phoenix isn't great, but Devin Booker gets on a heater. You want to make sure you see it when he starts throwing his stuff from everywhere.
Yeah.
So there are these guys on spread across the teams that aren't championship contenders, but are still decent teams.
Right. I'd put him on that list of 25.
And so what do you do to protect their health? And I suspect that discussion is happening behind the scenes because they're the moneymakers. They are who people are paying top dollar for tickets, luxury suites, and
then
sitting in front of
reduce their
TV.
minutes.
Yes, and I like that plan.
It's simple. The regular season.
All you got to do is shave what Jerry Sloan did at a different level, but shave okay, you come out of the game a minute or two earlier, you go back in the game a minute later. And if you instead of missing 6 minutes in the first quarter, John Stockton, miss 8 minutes at the end of the first and the start of the second quarter. Try to play guys big minutes in the fourth quarter.
And nobody complained about that.
Nope.
In fact, he was admired for being an Iron Man.
Yeah. And he wanted to play 40, and Sloan's like, no, that's a bad idea. We got to think about your body for the playoffs, and we got to think about you for the rest of your career. And it worked out. He was an Iron Man, and he did play for 2 decades.
Right. And to this day, he's admired.
Yeah.
No, I admire him for other things, but that's just me personally.
So I think that I see what you did there. That was clever. The way he shunned the media and controlled his life until he had a book to sell.
No, I'm not saying.
Okay, good.
I'm telling you, man, I watched the game and like 25 people dropped dead right on the field.
Okay. So these guys who are playing 35 minutes, how do you get them to 30?
Easily. Just sit them down.
You got to take them out a minute earlier in the first half and put them back in 2 minutes later.
Don't expect someone else to solve your problems. That's my deal with Kerr. He loves to tell you what he thinks, but what are you doing about it? Anybody can put a sign in their yard. What are you doing about it?
He's playing Steph Curry 31 minutes a night.
Then drop it to 25.
And Butler's playing 31 also.
How old is he? 35 years old? 36?
Steph Curry is 37 and will turn 38 in March.
Then drop him down.
Be 38 by the time the playoffs roll around.
Yeah.
If the Warriors are there.
I don't know that the league is going to do anything. Hey, we're going to help you. Because he's anointed himself a spokesman for a bigger cause in a lot of things.
Yeah, but I think that what he's saying is the Lakers are trying to figure out with
Sure,
Luka
but he's
and LeBron.
anointed himself the spokesman. Yeah. If you're the spokesman for a bigger cause, by definition, other people are on board of what you're saying. So it's not a yeah, but. It's yes, of course. That's why he's doing this. Because he has the street cred to be able to do it.
You should be in the league office as a consultant making big money. Because they're literally, you, PK, Patrick Kinahan. Guys, you playing him 31 for, play him 27.
Well, at least in the short term, no one's going to do anything. They're not going to do anything this year. And I'm not saying his points aren't extremely 100% valid.
But what do you control to make things better for the universe where you have correctly acknowledged things are jacked up?
Yeah. So start doing it. And if you lose a few more games,
honestly,
so
if I'm ranking them, I think that has more of an impact than spreading the games out more. I think there is a cumulative wear and tear, even if you get rest in between the games. And I get what they've done with back-to-backs, but I think that'd have a bigger impact as opposed to playing 3 games a week.
Okay.
And starting the season 3 weeks earlier.
Maybe so. But that wouldn't hurt.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. And maybe they're having that debate behind the scenes. And he's, his owner has told him, hey, they're talking about this. Weigh in. You've got the voice. I always wonder when people say stuff like this. Some people do say it just to be in the middle of everything and have the spotlight on them.
I don't think he's doing that.
But sometimes people say stuff and are like, trial balloon being floated. They're looking for the reaction, or they're putting pressure on someone who disagrees with them.
I think he's speaking to the sports science people and getting feedback from them, and then he sees the league. He's an NBA guy, and so he's not just, what can I come up to complain about today? Not at all. He's seen results. He's seen evidence. He's talked to people, and he has the ability to say it. And people will listen to what he says, obviously, because he continues to go to the well on a number of topics. And this one is valid, and it needs to be considered. From a league perspective, what can they do there as far as that goes? And, I just threw out a couple of, and it's not me. I was listening to the NBA radio driving in this morning, and they were talking about it because I knew they'd be talking about it. And so that's why I talked to them. And they talked about, hey, you're batting behind football anyway, and then the World Series, particularly this year with the World Series being as
that's an argument
fun as it was.
Not to back it up.
People,
yeah.
No.
Oh, you think go against the baseball playoffs?
Yeah, because you're going to lose anyway. Your day, no one's buying the NBA TV or giving them all this money for October ratings. It's not happening. It's down the line where you're going to cash in, right? So admit it. So stay away from football. Stay away from Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and play Tuesday, Wednesday,
that part,
Friday.
The NFL's clear.
Yeah.
And then I guess also schedule strategically in the games that get moved early in the season. Make sure that they're good teams beating up on bad teams. Don't let your good or mediocre. Don't let your marquee games.
Well, then you have to have arena availability because obviously these arenas are not just housing 41 basketball games and that's it.
No, a lot of them have hockey. A lot of them have concerts, just nonstop.
And circus, Disney on Ice
shows.
On and on and on, as they should, because they're in the business to make money too.
Yeah.
So I don't know how practical that is, but if it works, yeah. Because I really believe the NBA will get their money comes in from a great playoff system, where you have 2 weeks of locking down and all the give and take, the ups and the downs and the ebbs and flows and all that stuff. That, at least from my perspective, that's super intriguing and it's super fun. And guys would dive into the fourth row if it meant getting a basketball. And who wants them to dive in the fourth row? It's like I've said when Bryce Harper was playing in the outfield. Don't ever leave your feet, son. I need your bat.
Yeah.
Right? Unless it's the playoffs.
Do not jack up a wrist or a shoulder diving for 1 out in one regular season game.
In May.
No.
Or June. It doesn't make any sense.
The Phillies GM is at the end answering about why the season was a failure because they lost to the Dodgers in the NLCS.
Right.
It's clearly about the playoffs.
And so now they stick him at first base because they want his bat. So it's the same thing with the NFL or the NBA here. But now postseason, that's another story. So I think they can do that, but in the meantime, you can't wait for anybody to do anything else. You're going to have to do it yourself, and especially with your older guys.
And it won't have the same impact because what the teams have been able to control before is just giving a night's rest. Here's a 1-game road trip. You're flying to Utah. Don't go. You get the night off. You don't play those 30 or 35 minutes. You don't have to get on the plane. But that keeps happening, and then you've got TV executives and other teams saying, you didn't bring your star to our town. What are you doing? You didn't play your star in our TV game. What are you doing?
Apparently that's not enough, though.
That's also true. So maybe the 35 minutes down to 30 or the 31 minutes down to 27 is the way to go.
Yeah. At least give it a shot immediately. Do something about it. And then let the league go on a higher level to see what can be done.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. When we come back, everything you missed in this show, including college football, the rankings, and what kind of Cincinnati team is BYU going to face? One that's already beaten or one that really has something to play for and is going to bring their best effort of the season? That's next. Stay with us.
It's game week for the Cougars, and the KSL Sports Zone is getting you ready for kickoff. There was no Texas Tech hangover for the Cougars as they took their frustrations out on TCU. Now the Cougars hit the road for a huge Big 12 battle against Cincinnati. Listen all week long for the best coverage of Cougar football. Then catch College Football Saturday game day at 10 a.m. with a postgame show immediately following the game on KSLSports.com. Your home for the best coverage of BYU football is live on air, online, and on the KSL Sports app. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Is Cincinnati going to bring their best effort because their season's on the line? Or, hey, it's been a pretty good year. We made progress. They're not going to have that edge.
Well, I try to find perspective as quickly as I can because then that means I'm not as disappointed and I could be happy even in a loss. And that's the way I view my sportsdom. But I don't think Cincinnati's going to do that. And BYU's not taking that approach anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Justin Williams, senior college football writer for The Athletic, said man-to-man pass defense has slowed the Bearcats' throw game. They were lighting it up early in the year. And he said, a lot less zone, a lot more man. People have caught up on tape and this is the best way to defend these guys. It seems like Jay Hill coming out of the Kyle Whittingham tree would be pretty comfortable with that and would probably make that adjustment pretty quickly. Gary Anderson has spent years being focused on the differences between man and zone. I can't believe this is something that slipped past anyone on that staff.
No, this is a veteran staff, man. This is a staff that I think can rival some of LaVelle Edwards' best staffs right now with what you got because they got more guys. If for no other reason, they got more guys.
They got more people. They're now at a point where they got a lot of experienced guys. For a while, you love to point out, hey, they got a first-time head coach. Hey, they got a first-time coordinator. There's going to be a learning curve. You just can't expect these guys. I mean, they're going to know more in 3 years than they know right now. And it happened so often that when it was happening on the show, you'd reference back to what Kyle told you. I remember, actually, I was there for Kyle's first press conference after his first game as a head coach, and what Bronco told you about the first year. And we had Bronco on, and he remembers that and snorted and laughed. And snorting is a sign of real humor. The irony was rich.
Right. And that's not who BYU is right now. I mean, they've got so much experience. It used to be when guys would get a job, it would be a sort of like an entry level, meaning if they were a grad assistant first time, they were a position coach first time, coordinator first time. Well, that's all out the door now. No, not anymore. I mean, they got guys who've been there for a long, long time. So with that in mind, you can look at it and say, wow, not much is going to get past these people, and I think that's just a fact. I expect them to be as prepared as you possibly can because they know the stakes. I mean, everybody knows the stakes.
They were so close last year, and they're there again. Yeah. So get it across the finish line.
If 2 or 3 things happen, they literally could clinch a spot. But even if it doesn't happen or they don't happen, effectively they've clinched a spot. Go out and beat a UCF team that's playing out the stretch, has to travel across country on Thanksgiving. Who wants to do that? You know what I mean? One thing to go to Florida to end it.
There's one thing when the Utes did it last year, they got to go to Florida and at least go to good weather and all that, and they won the game.
Hang out. We had Kearney Reed. I think he took his family and they did some Disney World stuff after.
But do you want to leave the warm weather to go to the cold weather, to play at elevation, to play against a better team that's fully motivated with a lot to gain by one win?
On their senior day?
Yeah, it's their senior day, and they're 3 hours of good football away from a big celebration.
For sure. Yeah, so I guess it's 98% is on the line Saturday night in Cincinnati, and Saturday night here for that matter. So this is so, I don't know what the word is, just odd that we have the exact same circumstance in terms of implications 1 year later at the same time. So I'm so jacked for this game, and it's going to be another fun Saturday of football, and the Utes get to play in the daytime.
Riley Jensen, Justin Williams, both talking about this game. Riley joined us at 8 o'clock. Justin was on right back-to-back with him at 8:30. You can get those interviews wherever you get your podcasts. Riley, he comes on every week. I thought Riley was interesting. It's like nobody wants to play the Utes right now.
No team in the country.
That was his take. Nobody wants to play him. Too hot, too much confidence, too physical.
I disagree on that.
Ohio State's ready to play him?
I think
Bring him on!
I think Texas Tech is ready
to play him again?
Because I think Texas Tech is tired of hearing, it was a 3-point game in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And they did have their backup quarterback.
I think Texas Tech is also tired about hearing about we haven't been in the Big 12 title game. You haven't won a Big 12 conference championship. The playoffs are a big deal, and they will certainly celebrate that. But I think
but I don't think those guys have or haven't.
No, but if you live in a community and you hear it over and over, doesn't it have some effect?
I think that's more of the fan base. This is like the idea with the Red Sox and the Cubs curse. And those guys were not even born when that thing was started. I think for them, Texas Tech wants to silence all doubters. And if the Ute people are running their mouths, not that they are anyway, but if they were, that they would want we'll beat you again. Because they're most likely going to have to beat a team a second time.
This seems like a high probability.
Yeah.
And BYU wins out. It'll be BYU a second time. It could be Utah a second time.
I think that's it.
I don't know if the tiebreakers could work. Could the tiebreakers work out if Arizona wins a couple more games?
I'm sure.
Is there some tiebreaker out there? Because Texas Tech would probably like, you guys beat us? Oh. Take care of this.
I think there has to be multiple. You mean ASU? You said Arizona.
I meant ASU. I'm sorry. I just wondered if there's some tiebreaker scenario.
Because
we don't even know if it's going to be.
You just got under the skin of every Sun Devil fan in the history of Sun Devil fandom. And the same thing it's more about ASU when they say Arizona. That just drives them nuts.
Yeah, and I hate that, so I'm sorry I made that mistake.
I've heard
people backwards.
Egregious, I cannot forgive you.
Okay, that's fine.
No, it's not. You will be banished to hell. Sure it is, yeah. I think that, that could happen. Because if it were BYU, Utah, and ASU, wouldn't ASU have it? They beat Tech. You guys didn't. But I don't think that would carry the weight because they've been so hammered by injury. I mean, just look at last week. They literally need the final seconds to beat West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, any win for this team right now is a good win for the circumstances and the hand that they've been dealt. And it sucks for them, but so be it.
I think the thing looking at Texas Tech's schedule is they played most of the best teams. They played BYU and beaten them. They played Utah and beaten them. They played Houston and beaten them. Now they played ASU and lost. Yeah, so to your point, the odds of a rematch, it would only be Cincinnati is the only team sitting on 2 losses. I don't think it's going to happen either. I think BYU is going to beat Cincinnati, and it's going to be BYU.
I think they need Utah to lose, and that ain't going to happen. So Cincinnati's got no –
yeah.
They got a mathematical chance only because mathematics dictate that they have a chance, but they have no practical chance.
By Saturday night, even the math will work against them, I bet.
Obviously. Yeah, and so with that in mind –
Here's the deal, and you complain about this about me all the time, so you're going to enjoy this. I pick the favorite too often. I pick chalk too often.
You go with the brand.
The chalk, the favorite, the powerhouse brands have been winning the last 2 weeks, both inside the Big 12 and in the college football play. There have been small exceptions. I mean, Cincinnati fell to Arizona, maybe, okay. Oklahoma beat Alabama. Don't some of these underdogs, don't some of the upsets, doesn't somebody who's okay but not great have to be somebody who's really good? The history of college football says we're not going to go a month without this happening, are we? Doesn't it have to be some craziness? Don't you have to see a score and a ticker and think, how is that happening?
But we're talking about BYU and Utah. I'm not talking about I don't care what goes on in the other stuff.
Well, I think you do. I mean, BYU can win 3 games and just take care of business, and then they're in the ticket. They're in the playoff. They punch their ticket. The Utes definitely care about what happens in the other stuff because they not only have to win, they need some help. They need help to get into the Big 12 title game. They need help to get in the playoff. They need something to break their way.
Yeah, and then that would be Cincinnati.
Is any of it going to happen? Cincinnati being one example, yes. Oregon losing twice would help. Somebody else messing up a game. I mean, we don't think Alabama's going to lose to Auburn. That seems stunning. I don't think Notre Dame's going to lose to either of these 3-win teams they're playing down the stretch. That would be even more stunning.
Yeah, sure. If that's your exclusive definition of success, fine. Yeah, but if Utah goes 10-2 and they get sent to whatever bowl, I don't care. That's a great season. This is some concocted version that didn't let you in.
Yeah.
It's saying, so what?
Yeah, you want to be in.
Right, but if you're not,
that's so what.
But that doesn't take away from the phenomenal accomplishments.
I totally agree. I totally agree that 10 wins is a great season, and you should fist pump, and you should celebrate, and there's no guarantee Win 10 Wins is coming around again. For the Utes, they've been super fortunate. For the last decade, it has come around on a fairly regular basis. They have put together a bunch of double-digit win seasons. Off the top of my head, I would guess 6.
So the man who turned 66 in 48 hours said he couldn't retire last year because it was just a sour note.
He said that at Big 12 Media Day, and I was surprised he said that. It was more definitive. It was inching up closer to the retirement line, which I suppose the math tells you year by year he must be doing.
Yeah. So
and 10-2, in my mind, he can't go out on that and say, I coached a good team to a good year.
Right.
And anybody who argues that is wrong. They're just wrong.
And we lost to a team whose budget is way bigger than us, and we lost to our rival, which has been a lot of times a 50-50 by 3 points. You're going to lose sleep over that? Then you're just never going to sleep. You're like New York.
Nice. Thanks, Frank.
You're the coach who never sleeps.
In the city that never.
I mean, yeah, you've done just about all that you can do, and that's plenty good. Man, I would take a 10-2 season every freaking year. And if some committee decides we're not good enough, bleep them.
Here's the problem. You are me in this moment. You are way too rational. And it's because you didn't grow up with a team that your whole heart and soul was sunk into. I get the Ute fans. Get the Ute fans. Yeah. Their whole heart and soul is in it.
I got it.
And they're 10-2. And rationally, you're spot on. Like everybody that you should walk around with heads held high. People should renew their season tickets, assuming they can afford it as the price goes up. But like the quality of football, the quality of entertainment, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And this is everything I believe about BYU last season because this was their role last season. 10-2, excellent season. They didn't get in. They beat SMU on the road. I think there's a great argument to put them in. It didn't carry the day. It apparently didn't even come close to carrying the day. But nonetheless, 10-2, excellent season.
Right. And you're right. I don't have that fan passion.
And that's, I think, what drives I want the 10-2.
I got it.
But, man, I think what you said, who were we talking to? I think it was Frank Dolce yesterday. And you said, this could feel like 04 and 08. Not exactly, but we could walk away at the end saying, feeling unfulfilled, like, I wish they could be tested. Playoffs, end of year, playing your best ball. How good are you? Now, this team did lose 2 games. Those teams went undefeated. There was literally nothing more they could do.
Competition was much better this year.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. And you can go through all the things like the 04 team ran everybody off the field, but the 08 team played a tougher schedule than 04, and it was close. You can go through all that. But at least they were undefeated, and they didn't lose. There were 2 weeks these guys walked off the field and thought we should have done better. Now, I also think there's 9 weeks they walked off the field and they think, that was just about as complete a dominating victory as anyone could have hoped for. I don't think many of us are getting yelled at in the film session tomorrow.
Yeah, and I get it. So it is somewhat maddening, but if the thing was expanded to next year, they would be in. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you can always play that. So then,
they keep moving the bag at first base.
Yeah, and then they get in and they lose by late field goal.
I do think
so. They would have that too.
Well,
and then how about this way, DJ?
You didn't get in and get pummeled when you got sent to Ohio State.
So you always can believe.
You can believe even if it's not true.
Right.
And that's true. And when we talked about this earlier this week, that to me is the reason not to go to 16. We already had a bunch of blowouts last year. We had a lot of games that were lopsided. They're the kind of game, it's our job to watch them, but we also don't have to break them down play by play. And it's kind of like, how long did you have to watch Indiana and Notre Dame to think, the Hoosiers aren't doing this? This is Irish.
Okay, but sure, you had 2 big brand names. You're acting like because Indiana wasn't really a big brand name.
No, Tennessee, Ohio State, I thought the same thing. I didn't have to watch for very long before I thought, Vols aren't doing this.
Oregon,
Ohio State. Now, that's different because that wasn't an opening round game. I was bringing up the others because they were opening round games.
What's the difference?
Well, because the point of going to 16 is those opening round games when 1, 2, 3, 4 play 13, 14, 15, 16. I was telling you yesterday, in the top 25, I always feel like there's 3 tiers. There's 3 tiers.
Okay.
And you get down to 16, you're flirting with the third tier.
So under your philosophy then, Why in the crap would you expand the NCAA basketball tournament? Reduce it, because there's only been 2 times a 1 and a 16. So forget. Why waste my time there? Why
I actually
skip all that?
Okay, now we're getting far afield here and we're at the break. I actually think there's an argument to be made. If the NCAA, if they're going to keep adding 4 games at a time, just go to 96. You're going to 96 anyway. And then the thing is, because the 15 and 16s who right now just routinely lose to the 1 and 2s, they'd be 23 and 24, and I think they can beat the 9s and 10s.
Yeah, but
and then if they win,
no, that's just replacing the bag of moving the bag of bag, and then the next round they get smoked.
No, because the next round they're playing 7-8, and they might win that too. They avoid the big dogs for a while.
Yeah, but you just throw in the word might as if it's a fact.
Well, they won't always. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to sweep them.
No, but you don't even know that it's going to occur.
Well, I don't think they're going to 96, so it's all a moot point anyway. But as far as the one win, and this is where if you put your heart and soul into someone who's not a top-tier team, UC Santa Barbara has won 1 NCAA basketball game all time. It was a fabulous day.
Oh,
they beat another
diehard
OK team.
UC Santa Barbara basketball
That's
fans.
not true. I will get them on the phone. There's 7 of them, and they're all on my cell phone.
Right. But if you lose, if you have a good season and you qualify for the tournament and you jump up and down, where do they have the Big West thing now? In Anaheim? Wherever they have it?
No, they moved. Yeah.
Yeah,
they have.
And
they moved around LA
you
arenas.
cut down the nets. It's 10:30 at night. The rest of the country's in
Gone
bed.
To bed. Yeah. I know. I stayed up to watch that game,
Right.
and I thought I'm looking. I'm like, there might be 1,000 people in the gym, but I kind of doubt it.
And that's good enough. That is good enough for them. Who really cares? If you should get that second win, great.
Awesome.
But if it never comes in your life, you're missing nothing.
Well, I mean, that's true about all of sports.
From
the sports perspective.
Exclusively from the sports perspective. You're just looking to have a fun time. Now here, you get to put your money where your mouth is because UVU's going in there, and your fat butt better be down there at UCC Arena watching them play.
Yeah. They went to BYU once. I went to the game.
Well, now it's going to be regular,
There
right?
was another gaucho in town. He and his family have since moved on. Oh, yeah. As long as the league isn't so big, with the double round robin thing. And they got teams coming and going. I'm not sure what number they're settling at.
Right.
Here.
So you better be down there, and I'm going to be down there clad in green.
I think it will be. I think it will be every year.
Jump in Todd Phillips's lap when they punk him.
I'll be sitting next to him, blue and gold. I'll be wearing this.
No.
Right here. Hey, if you're watching, I'll be wearing this. I'll be right there.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get myself some UVU gear when that happens.
Will they still send a limo for you two? You think this?
Well, that was Mark Pope.
Mark Pope was sending a limo.
He don't need us now.
Yeah.
May need us again, but not now.
He's got other issues at Kentucky he's got to deal
So
with.
with that in mind, away you go.
If it were a 16-team playoff right now, I assume Utah. Let's just say it started today.
Sure.
Utah be the 12 seed. They play the 5 seed.
So some
Texas
committee
Tech.
decides you're not in. To them, that was what was cool about the Rose Bowl. You didn't need some beauty pageant. Well, I like I like the one from Nova Scotia. No, I like the one from Alberta. I mean, get out of town. No, here.
Win your conference. Go to the game.
Don't forget about Prince Edward Island, okay?
And what's it? Newfoundland.
Yeah, Newfoundland. Yes.
They're not even on our time zone. They got their own time zone up there.
What about the Yukon territories? Come on.
Well, Yukon, and if we get Yukon in the NCAA tournament again, we lost to them last week, we'll get them. We get Kennard Davis back, and away we go.
Manitoba wants a word.
I see what you did there. That was good. When we come back, your feedback next. Some stuff slips by me. That, not at all. DJ PK, your feedback next. DJ PK, multiple questions this morning. Your reactions. Hilarious to some people. ESPN Mock Draft has the Jazz taking Cameron Boozer, who wouldn't sign off on that right now. Now, PK, we've already covered this. There was a lot of blowback on the thought that the Jazz would end up with a 3rd pick. That's not how NBA drafts work. And then Benjamin Smith says, I know this is very controversial, but I have Boozer 4th on my big board. I thought you'd like that. That would be a win in the draft if they're able to get to that spot. Yes. But as we've discussed, there are somewhere between 8 and 10 teams that are thinking, we're pretty bad this year. We could get to that spot.
Yeah.
And they're not all going to squeeze in.
Right.
And will the Jazz get unlucky and fall out of the top 8?
Right now, I'd bet yes. They got too much talent.
So barring an injury that makes the decision for them, At what point do they say, hey, we're not going to repeat the mistake from 3 years ago where we got off to such a good start that we tanked after the All-Star break, and that just wasn't nearly enough? I get Austin Ainge wasn't here for that, but lots of other people were, including Ryan Smith.
I don't know that they will. I mean, they may think we'll ride it out, man.
Just win as many games as we can, and that gets you to 30.
When DA got here, they didn't have a pick, and he went and got picks.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have a pick in a round, right?
Do you think, given how good this draft looks, that you can go get a pick right now that would end up in that neighborhood?
If you want one that bad, I think there's a possibility, but I don't know that they want one that bad. They may just wait it out for 8 years, and DeBonsa comes as a free agent.
I see what you did there. Tyler, right now, we're the 10th worst team, and we are giving our pick to the Thunder, and that is the absolute worst-case scenario. Tyler, despondent.
Yeah, but, I mean, if you got the 8th pick, say, you guaranteed you're going to get a difference maker?
No.
No. We don't know how big of a deal it is. We won't know for years, for that matter, because whoever is drafted, wherever that pick lands, that Oklahoma, let's say for our sake of argument, OKC gets it, then they draft the player.
The player has to develop and has to break into a lineup that currently is defined as the defending world champions.
And at that point, if you're not good enough on your own merit, well, you got far bigger issues than losing that pick in 2026, don't you think?
Probably, unless that 8 is one of the, or 7 or wherever they end up picking, is like they hit on one of the all-timers.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with you building your team. That deal was made by somebody else, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That doesn't change the task to build a caliber team that is expected to contend. That, irregardless of that stupid friggin' pick. And I'm so glad we're done with it after this year. It's driving me nuts.
Last time you have to hear about that.
Yeah.
Put that in the rearview mirror.
Right.
All right, we're out of time. Jake and Ben will have more on this in a moment right here on The Zone.